Hey, welcome to You Ask 502, the podcast where we get up close and personal with the plumbers, pipe fitters, and service techs of Local 502. I'm Ryan Kleber. Joining me is my co-host, Erik Elzy.
You Ask 502 is your go-to source for stories, skills, and the daily lives of our hardworking people in this local. We're just getting started, and we're excited to see where this takes us.
Hey, welcome to another episode of You Ask 502. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Kleber.
I'm Erik Elzy.
Hell yeah. Nice to see you again, man. I guess it's been, 3 weeks since we've done this? 2 weeks? I know we were talking about the NCAA tournament right before.
Mm-hmm.
That petered out pretty quick.
We can talk a little bit about today, what we've got coming up here. You know, we just talked about before we come on here, that $6 billion plant that's potentially going out there in your neck of the woods.
LaGrange, yeah. It's supposed to rival Blue Oval, is what they're saying. That
would be fantastic for us. That would be great for us.
And I don't think they'll pull the plug halfway through it either.
So, right. And say, well, we're only going to do one building. We're not going to do both buildings.
Yeah. I think both parties like data.
Right. So that'd be a great one, man. Right in your backyard, too, man.
It's close.
Yeah, it's close.
A little too close if you ask my neighbors, but yeah, whatever. So.
But it'd be good for us. A lot of man hours coming in here, a lot of money coming in here that we can, use for our school. Whatever, this building we're getting ready to build, we need all the money we can get right now.
We do. And I know people are going to listen to this, and there's probably some of them that have been off for a little bit. A lot of apprentices, unexpectedly, especially this time of year. But the thing is that we still have, pretty consistent man hours coming in. It's just they're spread out over fewer jobs, as opposed to before where there was more jobs. So even with travelers being gone, we're still coming close to where we need to be with the man hours. Even with guys being off. So it's just the meta jobs.
Yeah, I mean the man hours are insane right now, man. They're insane.
So it's going to come. I mean, there's so many more opportunities coming in the summertime, and when you get it, and some of these guys have been nicked. Some of these guys, hey, I only missed 4 days or missed 5 days or was late. I'm like, that's when it gets to the nitty gritty, man. Those little things matter.
Again, I think when you and I we came through this at the same time, and the old dudes we worked with always told us, with some of it you kind of, when you're a young man, you're letting some of this stuff go in one ear and out the other, but you think to yourself when they tell you, hey man, set your bills up where you can pay them on unemployment. I heard that a million times when I was an apprentice. Remember, you're competing with the guy next to you. You're always competing with the guy next to you. And if he's here every day on time with a good attitude and does a good job, and you're late 5 minutes late every day, when it comes time to what you're just talking about for a layoff, I mean, put yourself in the guy in the situation that's in charge of laying people off and keeping people. Put yourself in his situation. Who are you going to keep? I mean, you're going to most likely keep the guy that's there every day on time with a good attitude instead of the guy that's 5 minutes late and misses a day a week. That's who he's going to keep. And I mean, it's just business. It has not personal. It's just business. And when these younger guys, or hell, not even younger guys, some of our members that know they're habitually late. I mean, when they understand that this is why they get laid off or why a contractor lays them off. I mean, maybe that comes into it. Maybe that factors into it. But and all it does is if we can get to where we got people there every day on time, good attitude. I mean, all it does is make our whole local look better. Just makes everyone look better.
It really does. I mean, to compete, you got to be the best. We say we're the best. Well, the best doesn't just mean at your craft. Also, being there on time, ready to go, because the owners are watching. The owners of the projects, and they're seeing like, hey, there's guys straggling in, up to an hour late every day. Like, what's going on?
Yep. So. And it's just when you get on them bigger jobs like the meta job or this one they're talking about putting in Oakland County or the battery plant. I mean, I know you spent a lot of time down at the battery plant with problems of guys, sneaking out early, coming in late. And I mean, that's just stuff we can police ourselves. We shouldn't have to wait for a contractor to police us. We should be able to police that stuff ourselves.
You should. But no one wants to be that guy.
No, nobody wants to step up and say, hey, man, you can't be coming in here late every day, or you can't be trying to slip out early. I mean, they're paying you for a 10-hour day, a 12-hour day, whatever it is, they're paying you for
breaking conditions, working all day. My Lord.
What else we got to talk about, man? I mean, besides that, a big job coming up. We got what's the work outlook this summer looking like, Rhino?
We got some school jobs as usual. R&R usually, has the big project. Honestly, I do forget which one it is this year. They might even be back in the rotation from when the first time I got in of redoing them, but there's that. The LAP job that I've been talking about has been pushed back to December. So that's kind of on hold right now. There is, it was in the paper, another data center going in Riverport, which is like 150 acres or something like that. I mean, something massive, land. I
Wow,
guess it's
that's a
going
lot
where the
of
tofu
land.
plant was going to be. Yeah, and they're getting it ready. That's what these guys are doing. Like before, they used to come in and like they clear out spot these developers and get stuff ready for like strip malls and get stuff ready for Kroger's and Publix and Walgreens. Now it's like, hey, what if we get this land ready for data centers? Let's think bigger. Let's not do which is essentially the plot's going to be the size of these big nice neighborhoods, but instead of dealing with houses, it's just dealing with one owner.
Right.
And letting them lease it from you. You know what I mean? And it's
So you can you kind of tell the guys, hey man, this summer looks pretty good. We're going to have plenty of work for everybody this summer.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of work on the road too. I mean, we have, sorry, probably 50 guys. Well, I'm sorry, about 40 guys on the road right now. There's a big job going in Flint Hills Refinery in St. Paul, Minnesota. That was a good job.
I wasn't. You were a guy that worked the road quite a bit, and
Yeah.
I worked on the road for a contractor, not as a working out
Right.
out of other locals. But I mean, I know by watching some of our members that do work out of town on social media platforms, there's a lot of money to be made on these out of town jobs. If you're a single guy or if your wife can tolerate you being gone for a certain amount of
Yeah.
time, I mean, there's a lot of money to be made on the road, man.
My son, he's like, as soon as I turn out, I'm
Good for
gonna start
him.
welding. I'm like,
Good for him, man.
Okay.
Stay single,
He'll probably
good
be
for
married
him,
by
man.
then, but yeah.
But good for him if he's got
Sounds
that
good.
attitude and he knows that he can hit the road and make a chunk when he hits the
Right.
road, man.
And you can do it, when there's really no responsibilities back home,
Right.
So, because it's hard. It's hard for a married guy or a dad to do that.
It
It's
is,
tough.
man. It's hard to step away from your family, and you got to really have an understanding wife that gets it and appreciates what you're doing. And if you do have
Yeah.
that, then man, call Rhino up, and
Yeah.
say, hey,
We
I
can
want to
find
hit
a
the
spot.
road,
There's-
man. I want to hit the road somewhere. I want to go make some money. Even if it's
Yeah.
just for 6-8 weeks, man. You can make a lick in 6 to 8
It's
weeks.
about all you want, really. You
Yeah.
get in, get out. They throw that money at you. You get, mob, demob, all that stuff. It's good. So,
Yeah, man.
hell yeah. So what's
What
up with
else?
you? Anything going on in the political realm?
Man, just everybody sees what's going on the television, man.
Well, I'm thinking more local now. Let's get away from federal here, but yeah.
I mean, I've made my rounds, man. We have our annual day at Churchill Downs where we entertain people, and I was down at the
coming up.
courthouse. I was down at the courthouse last week. I got to sit and talk to several of the judges, some attorneys, and these are people that help our members when they get into a little bit of trouble. I'm developing more relationships. I actually had a guy call me the other day looking for a tax attorney, and I
Okay.
didn't really have a tax attorney. Made a couple phone calls. Guy was like, yeah, I went through law school with a guy that's a tax attorney, sent me his dude's number, a good friend of his. I introduced myself to
Right.
him, and then I was able to turn a member on to a tax attorney. So,
Okay.
I mean, so going down there is something, it's neat to go down there and talk to those people, and they know who you are, and they're willing to help you anytime they can. Also had a meeting a couple weeks ago, Metro Council. We're trying to push this, with the Louisville Building Trades that I'm the president of, we're trying to push this responsible bidder ordinance, where in order to do business in Jefferson County, the city of Louisville, you have to have a license to own a company in this town. You have to have an address in this town. You can't just be an out-of-town company coming up.
Like a
here.
driver's license?
Yeah, you have to have the company you own. Like it's just like Evansville.
Okay.
We're mirroring
It has
off of
it. I
Evansville.
got you. Which is good, and that's how they
Yeah.
get a lot of the city work. You know what I mean? Is that
So
you can't be
we-
an out of town.
Yeah, Jason Schultz, which is the business manager for Louisville Building Trades. He and I met with 4 or 5 of the Metro Council people. We gave them some language. They kicked us back. We've been exchanging some emails, and it looks like they're going to present it at a Metro Council meeting. If it passes, which we're hoping it does, because we've got a 2-seat edge, the Democrats over the Republicans. But actually, a couple of Republicans are in on this too, so they agree with it. Then all the mayor has to do is put his signature on it, which I feel like we won't have a problem with the mayor putting his signature on it. So
That's good.
looking in the future to hopefully, where if you want to do business in this town, you got to have an address in this town, and you have to pay the fees that it requires to do business in this town.
That's nice. Hey, it's
Yeah.
good to know people in the government.
Yeah, right.
Local government. What do they say? Government is Hollywood for ugly people.
Yeah. And they're all, politicians are politicians, man. I mean, they're
Oh,
good.
yeah.
If you help them, they'll help you.
Of course. That's
But they've
it.
got their agendas that they want you to work with them on too. That's just how politics works.
Who's the one that's helping a lot of our members out? Are we allowed to say his name?
I mean, I absolutely can, because he used to.
Engelbert?
His name is Ebert Hagley.
Ebert
and,
Hagley.
and he is he used to work for the Jefferson County Attorney's Office. He's since has
Okay.
left and started his own firm, and which is actually better for us, because when he was working for the Jefferson County Attorney's Office, there was so much he could do. He turned me up, but now anytime a member gets hemmed up in a little bit of difficulty, I can call him and say, hey, I got another one for you.
Nice.
And he takes care of our members, man. I mean, he does because he always asks me. He's like, "Is this one of your members, or is this a friend of a friend?" And I'm like, "No, it's a member." And he says, "Well, I'll take care of this guy then."
That's
You can
good.
ask
And they
any
do.
of them that he's helped. He's always, I mean, he could charge, like, he helped a guy the other day, got a speeding ticket. We don't have to say no names on this, but
No.
doing 116 in a 70-mile-an-hour on the interstate.
I want to know who that was.
He got pulled over for he was drag racing. He says he was not drag racing, but that's what the police charged him with. And
Right.
he called when I talked to Ebert. Ebert was like, "Man, that's a $5,000-6,000 deal to get him out of it." I think he charged him $500, to get him out
Damn.
of it. So I mean,
Nice.
Ebert's a good guy, man. He's a really good dude, and he's just really if he was mingling with our people, they would think he was one of us, just
Which
because
he's come around us quite a bit. He's a nice guy.
He's
a good
a good
dude.
guy, man.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. So
I like him.
yep.
Good deal. Good deal.
But it's all
You
the
golfing
movers and
yet?
shakers. You just got to know the movers and shakers, and Ebert knows
Yes.
them all. Ebert knows every one of them. And that game is the same.
Relations.
The legal game is so funny to watch. I mean, because he's a prosecuting attorney, or he helps people, and he knows every one of the defense attorneys, and they get together just like they're two buddies because they went to law school together. And
Yeah.
They work out a deal, and then they go in front of a judge, and the deal's already worked out. The judge just bangs the gavel, signs the papers, and she's done. The judge is done with it. I mean, so it's really who you know, man. It's just who you know.
It really is.
And this opportunity, being a member of this local and representing this local, is how you get those opportunities. Even if it's not me, I'm not going to be here forever. 20 years down the road, the guy that's sitting in here taking care of politics.
Once
all
we
he's gotta
establish
do-
the relationship.
yeah, all he's got to do is go down there and say, "Hey, I represent 502," and they know who you are just because of that.
Right.
So,
That's good. Hey, is there anyone up for election this year?
now there's
coming
no
up?
elections this year. This is a down year. There's no elections this year. There's already people moving and shaking for. I think the governor right now, he's going to run for president after he's done with this term, the next
Ooh.
presidential election. I'm pretty confident he's going to run for president. I think Rocky Atkins is going to give a run at the governor's job.
I always did like Rocky.
Yeah, I think he's going to give a run at the
Don't
governor's
tell
job.
Edie, but I always like Rocky.
And then the lieutenant governor, she's kind of figuring out what she's going to do. I think she may run for that Senate seat that Mitch McConnell's given up. The lieutenant governor's going to run in it, maybe.
By giving
that's
up,
the
you mean
thing.
die?
I mean, the whole party.
He's
of
struggling.
being, right now we're having to make friends with both sides of the aisle.
Which is
And,
good. You want
it
to be
is.
able
It
to-
is, man. Because right now, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm a registered Democrat, and I vote most for Democrats. But man, they're not putting any good candidates up to run against some of these people, and they're just not. We're just going to keep losing ground if they don't put up any good candidates. And then coming up in the city of Louisville, the Metro Council races, all of these races are going to be nonpartisan. So you're just going to be voting for a person, not a party. So that's
Do
coming
they-
up in the next election.
Do they operate nonpartisan?
They operate your Democrat or Republican currently,
Right.
but as soon as this next Metro Council election that comes up, it's just going to be voting for a person. Is all it
Okay.
is. You're not going to have a D or an R next to your name. So
I like
I'm
that,
like
actually.
you. I'm like you. I think that's the way it should be because politics are politics. It shouldn't be one-sided. I mean, hell, the damn sheriff in downtown Louisville runs as a Democrat or Republican. Now, if anything, the damn law should be bipartisan. It shouldn't
I
be.
mean, you would think, right?
But the judges, they all run. You don't know if they're a Democrat or a Republican. The judges, I mean, they don't have an R or a D next to their name when you vote.
Well, I don't think you could, really. I think
I
you
mean,
have to.
they're pushing the law, but then the sheriff, he's a
Right.
Democrat right now. I
Well,
mean,
all right.
but I just saw in the paper the other day where he's like 80-something years old and he ain't gonna run no more. So, but I keep myself busy with politics. I make myself available to all these people. They make themselves available to me. It helps our members anytime I can. And actually, right now, that's why next week I got to go downtown for the new buildings. I got us on a docket to hopefully get everything pushed through for the new buildings next week.
Oh, yeah.
So-
yeah. Sweet.
And that's just calling the mayor's office and telling the mayor's office, hey, why are we kicking this can down the road? Why are we dragging our feet? And then shit
It
happens.
is. It really-
Yes, shit happens as soon as you make a phone call. That's a shame that you have to make a phone call to get that to happen, but I mean, it is what it is. So,
Fair enough. Hell yeah. Anything else going on?
that's about it for me, man.
All right.
Covers me. I mean, I try to do something every day with the politics, whether I talk to somebody or not, or go visit with somebody or something. I try to every day, usually.
Yeah. Well, as many members we got, someone's always got a ticket, I guess.
Between that and this market recovery fund, which we can do a whole episode on that coming up.
We can't. Well, I mean, we can kind of give it like a little, just a tip, I guess, just to, talk about what's going on because there's still a lot of language that needs to be done. But
There
you
is.
know, and I don't
There
know if
is.
you want to elaborate on it a lot. But there's
I mean, just the way the target fund has been done for since, I mean, I've been in here since 2016, and the way the targets fund's been done is the way it's always been done. And, you know, we got a group of guys now on the executive board, finance committee, that kind of look at stuff and they see things they want to change and do differently. And I don't disagree with what they want to do, man. I mean, you know, right now, if you read the language in the target fund language, business manager has a lot of stroke, man. He can do a lot of things with it. And, you know, sometimes that gets a little wacky, gets a little crazy, and you know, by the finance committee and the executive board keeping their eyeballs on it and wanting to change a few things, I think that's a good thing, man. I mean, putting a cap on what he can spend out of that account, and watch what he does with it, and anything above that cap, he has to run it through the executive board. I think those checks and balances are where everything should be. Everything is checks and balances, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, it's a fiduciary responsibility to be responsible for that. So
I like the idea that we're getting ready to go through this language and redo it. I like the idea that the executive board's going to have more say on it. I like the idea that the business manager is going to have a cap on what he can spend out of it. I like all of it, really.
Yeah, it all makes sense. It's logical.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's like any business, you know, even just a Fortune 500 company. There's got to be checks and balances at every level.
Absolutely.
Just to keep you safe.
If you don't have those checks and balances, you get in trouble.
And not even for anything nefarious, just something, just an oversight. Just, you know, you flew a little too close to the sun with something, and then it just burned you.
It's not something, it's, you know, it's something to put in place for every business manager, not a certain bit, you know, I don't trust this guy will do whatever. It's just checks and balances for whoever is the business manager 50 years from now. You know, this is how we should do this thing. So,
I agree.
But now we can do an episode one day. We can kind of pick apart the target fund one day, and we can go through it. And
but we were gonna. I know we said our next one was gonna be on market recovery, but we still got a lot of loose ends out there.
There's really no sense in to dive into it until we get it all finalized and the executive board satisfied with how it goes down, and you know, then we can sit here and we can talk about it and go through the whole thing, really, if you want to. You know?
All right. So, good deal. All right, man. Good pod.